I wanted to go over some search strategies that you can use when you're looking for images for your projects, especially using Google. I want to guide you all in terms of usage and rights when looking for pictures. I'm going to go ahead and click on images for Google Images, and I'm going to look for a Godzilla image. But I know full well that Godzilla is a huge franchise, a huge corporate moneymaker. And I don't want to really break any rules, and I'd really like to have something that I can use in my portfolio where I'm not going to get dinged down the line if somebody looks at my work and says, hey, you didn't do that, and so on and so forth, which is entirely true. But whether or not I can use something that I didn't create is another story altogether. So over here, you'll see when I click on the Tools button, I get a variety of choices. One of the things to pay attention to when searching for pictures for your projects is to look at the size. I'm going to click on large because I know that I want to create a document that I can possibly print and possibly repurpose for later. The larger the image that I have to work on and the one that I'm saving, the larger resolution, the higher resolution, the larger the dimensions, the more I can do with it. So for example, I could take a large image and print a poster of it and it would look nice. I could also reduce the size of that and use it for an Instagram post or make a postcard or something like that. But I would have the data in the image and I wouldn't have much of a loss in the quality of the picture. Another thing that I'd like you to look at right here is something called usage rights. There's something called Creative Commons. And if you have Creative Commons licensing on an image, what that indicates is that you can use it pretty much for anything, but what you have to keep in mind is that a lot of times the Creative Commons licensing details have things like you can use it for whatever you like, you can make money on it, you can do this and that. However, you have to cite the date and the corporation and that kind of thing for your for the work that you're creating. And in that case, that's kind of handy. Now you'll notice there's only one licensable image of Godzilla because all the ones that are for just everyday use, you'll see that these are likely very much licensed. So we have something from Vox, Amazon, and so on. You can also go to commercial and other licenses. And this is when perhaps you are working for a firm or maybe you're doing some work for somebody and they're paying you to do the design work and you have a particular budget for a project that they're asking you to work on. If it works inside of your budget, you can go to a popular site like Almay, Getty Images, or one of those other places, and you'll find images there that have different licensing costs, different licensing usage parameters, and you'll also notice that if you go to these sites, for example, I'll go to Almay, and you'll notice here that I also get a variety of choices about how much I can pay depending on what I'm going to do with it. So personal use is, they'll give you kind of a general image that you can use. It says specifically not for resale. If I click on presentation or newsletters, you'll understand that this is something that you can probably use for class or maybe for a work presentation and not get into any hot water about it if somebody cries foul. If you're using it on a website, again, the price jumps a little bit, and that has to do with the amount of revenue that you're likely to make or the amount of exposure and exposure risk that this particular image or the creators of this image are going to be at risk for. Magazines and books, these are usually higher resolution images. They're higher quality images, and they're images that you can separate into CMYK, which is the letter abbreviations for cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and that's for printing. For a marketing package, this allows you to use it for multiple uses. So keep in mind that when you license an image, or if you are working for someone where you have to license an image, if you do a presentation or newsletter, a website, a magazine, and that's it, then you can do those single use things, choices rather, or if you just want to have a more of a widespread, like let's say you're going to do a web campaign, you're also going to make posters, and you're going to make website. This is the one that has a much broader use. And then of course you buy now, add to cart, or whatever you want to do. So that's a little bit about image usage. What I want to encourage you guys to do is to stick with the Creative Commons license, especially since this is a way that you guys can use the licensing free of charge. Use the image free of charge, and you can put it in your portfolio for future use and kind of exhibition if you wanted to. A lot of times what our goals here in the art department at MiraCosta are is to help you all build a visual portfolio that looks professional, to give you the skills to develop one later, but more often than not, to help you guys create a kind of a portfolio or a resume that you can use to get to where you want to go in the next steps of your career, your education, or maybe your business.